Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us here on 9 News Plus. I'm meteorologist Chris Bianchi here in the 9 News Weather Center. So, we've got more fire danger, more heat, and yes, more dry weather in the forecast. That said, I'm going to kind of break down for you a couple of things. One, a little bit of good news today is the winds are notably lower. That will also decrease our fire danger for today. So, a little good news passed along there. I know I feel like I've had a lot of bad news lately with all this increased drought, with all this increased fire danger. But again, there's some good news passed along, is that at least today, fire danger is there, but it's notably lower than it was yesterday, and that it will be lower. It'll be lower than what it will be for your day tomorrow. The other thing to pass along as well is that temperatures later this week will be fairly cool. So we'll be talking about low to mid 70s as opposed to tomorrow's near 80, I should say near 90 degree temperatures tomorrow and near 80 degree temperatures today. So if you're looking for some cooler weather, well, it's actually fairly cool outside right now, and it will be cooler later on in the week. Meantime, taking a look outside Denver, looking at mostly sunny skies right now. You might notice a little bit of a lid there of some wildfire smoke. That was pretty pronounced yesterday afternoon. I do think we're going to see some more smoke move its way back in later on today. That is thanks to wildfires in New Mexico. I know, it is mid-May. We're already talking about wildfire smoke. Ugh. I'm thinking the same stuff as you guys here, folks. I'm right there with you, but the good news is, at least right now, the wildfire smoke barely visible, if at all, here in the Denver area. Southeast Colorado getting a bit more of that today. Now today, again, less windy, so good news passed along is it is less windy today. Still breezy, you'll still notice it, but again, the winds notably lower today than they were yesterday. Tomorrow, the winds pick up, and it could also hit 90 degrees. That will make tomorrow probably the highest fire danger day of the upcoming week. I think tomorrow's going to be pretty nasty in terms of those fire weather concerns. The worst of the fire conditions, though, will be in southern Colorado, and probably specifically for the San Luis Valley and the southeastern quadrant of the state. So Highway 50 on south could be looking at the worst of those fire conditions. So once again, get used to this map here, folks. This is going to be with us all week long. Red flag warning in place throughout all of southern Colorado for your day today. Again, fire danger is there today still for southern Colorado, Palmer Divide on south, but again, a little lower than it was yesterday. Northeastern Colorado, that little kind of brown gray area where you're looking at there is a fire weather watch for your day tomorrow. And again, I do think that tomorrow will have notably higher fire danger than today due to warmer temperatures, a drier air mass, and also gustier winds. That combination that we often look for in terms of that potential for fire danger will be there for your day tomorrow. All right, another thing to watch for. Again, it feels a little weird here this early in the season to be talking about wildfire smoke, but yes, we have that map back out here for you, and that wildfire smoke is going to lift north. This is all due to the wildfires in northern New Mexico, and that smoke will lift in out of the south overnight tonight into early tomorrow. Don't be surprised if tomorrow morning you're waking up to a fair bit of smoke out there. That could reduce air quality a little bit, and especially for our friends in southeastern Colorado, south of I-70. That's where the smoke will be denser and a bit more pronounced, but along the Front Range, we will probably notice some of that out here as well. So again, wildfire smoke, something to watch for as we head over the next few days, as we are looking at that potential for, again, increased wildfire smoke later tonight and into early tomorrow. All right, wind gusts right now, again, not that bad, especially compared to yesterday when we were dealing with that those really gusty conditions. At times, DIA was gusting over 40 miles an hour between about 5 and 7 p.m. last night. Today, those winds, again, have backed off. That is some good news to pass along. The bad news is the winds will crank back up overnight tonight. Watch as we head through the day tomorrow. Those winds really revving on up, especially for friends along the eastern plains. Could be talking about 40 to 50 mile an hour winds for the southeastern corner of the state. Denver area, our winds will peak. I'm going to actually back this up for you a little bit here so you can see what you can expect tomorrow afternoon. Winds gusting up into the 30, 35 mile an hour range along the Front Range. And then those winds do back on off pretty quickly through the evening, but they'll concentrate more into the eastern plains tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. Current temperatures, passing along a little bit of good news here, is that those temperatures much cooler today, as we've had a bit of a front swing its way on through, and that's got those temperatures stuck in the mid-50s right now here in Denver. I don't think too many of us are complaining about that. 50s, 60s statewide, but those temperatures will crank on up thanks to abundant sunshine. It's going to be notably sunnier today. Also, again, you might remember yesterday afternoon we did have that bit of wildfire smoke move in around 4 or 5 o'clock. That lid of smoke will not be there today, so I do think that'll allow those temperatures to rebound pretty nicely into the mid-70s. So all in all, a nice day. Less windy than yesterday, a bit more breezy than windy for your day today. And again, temperatures topping out in the mid-70s for us here along the Front Range. 80s, even low 90s, southeastern Colorado, 60s and 70s on up into the mountains. This is about 5 to maybe 10 degrees above average for this time of year. So yeah, it's a little bit on the warm side, but not all that bad compared to the norm. Sunny temperatures drop back, upper 40s, quiet, seasonable. Pretty nice evening if you want to kind of sit outside for a little bit. You'll probably need the hoodie, sweatshirt, light jacket. You'll be a-okay. Sunset 8:02, and by the way, 8 p.m. or later sunsets through August the 12th. So there's a little bit of good news to pass along as well. Got those long evenings in place for the next 3+ months. Lows tonight, 30s and 40s into the mountains, 40s. 50s, even some lows in the 60s along the eastern plains tonight. Now tomorrow, because of those winds that really rev on up, those temperatures will spike as well. We'll be near 90 degrees for us here in the Denver area. Yeah, it's going to be cooking tomorrow afternoon. And with it, it's going to be also windy. It's going to be hot. It's going to be like being inside of a hairdryer tomorrow. That kind of weather for us with those temperatures getting near 90 degrees. It's going to be windy. One of those days where yeah, you don't want to probably spend a ton of time outside. Also, keep in mind the wildfire smoke. It's just, I know it's going to be near 90 degrees. Often when we have that, usually you have lighter winds. Tomorrow's going to be, again, a bit of a hairdryer day where you're talking about those temperatures near 90 degrees. It's windy, it's smoky, it's just not all that pleasant. Just being perfectly transparent about it. All right, drought conditions is obviously something I keep showing this because I want to emphasize the fact that it's the eastern plains that in particular are looking at that higher fire danger because of the fact that this is the part of the state that's been dealing with those really pronouncedly dry conditions for the last 6 to 7 weeks or so, going back to late March. We've been basically just completely dry in southern eastern Colorado, and that's why this part of the state is so unfortunately at risk for increased wildfire danger. We do have, unfortunately, drought conditions in the mountains as well. It's just not quite as severe as it is along the eastern and southern plains. So just worth keeping in mind if we're focusing on southeast Colorado, that's why. That's the part of the state that's windiest and also driest at this point. 7-day forecast, not a lot of relief in sight. Maybe an isolated shower on your Thursday with the front swinging on through. I don't think we get anything, honestly, here in Denver. I'm just going to be, again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope we end up getting a little bit of rain, isolated shower or storm on Thursday, but I think it's just too dry at the surface for us to get much of anything. Then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we warm back up again. We're back in the 80s, and keep in mind our average high for this time of year, we're normally in the upper 60s. So when we're cooling down into the 70s, I mean, again, that's the only bit of good news I got to pass along, going back to that 7-day forecast here for a quick second, is that we do cool down for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're in the mid-70s for the most part, maybe even upper 70s for Friday and Saturday, but it is a little bit cooler. But even with that cool down, we're still running 10 degrees above average. So it's part of the issue here, folks. We're dry. May is normally our wettest month of the year, and we're also exceptionally warm and also exceptionally windy. That's thanks to these storms that just keep staying to our north and bypassing us here in Colorado. So definitely could use the moisture. Unfortunately, there's not much in sight over the next 7 to 10 days. Maybe by the end of next week we see a pattern flip, but too far out to really say that with any sort of certainty. In the meantime, again, it is going to be hot. It is going to be dry for the foreseeable future. So remember, we're talking about these hot, dry days. Remember, have the go bag ready to go in case a wildfire starts up and you need to evacuate quickly. Number 2 is, of course, this really is number 1, avoid anything with a spark outdoors. Cigarette butts, no outdoor burning, nothing like that. Of course, when we're talking about fire danger like this, and then also, of course, just remember, just kind of be smart out there. If you see something, somebody not doing the right thing, go ahead and speak up, because these kinds of days, and unfortunately this kind of fire danger that we're dealing with, is not all that great. I'm meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus. Meteorologist Keely Chalmers has more details coming up at 9 News at noon, and also Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin in at 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10 on the 9 News family networks. Again, I'm meteorologist Chris Bianchi here on 9 News Plus, and have a great rest of your Tuesday.